Lagos State Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu says infrastructure development is key to maximizing the economic potential and growth of any state or country. Speaking through the Deputy Governor, Dr. Kadri Obafemi Hamzat, who on behalf of the Governor received the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) on a courtesy visit in his office in Alausa, Ikeja, noted that the state has kept thinking at investing massively on its infrastructure for economic potentials. Accordingly, Sanwo-Olu was of the belief that there is a need to educate citizens on raising capital to develop the country, as Africans seem not to like debt. He said the state government would not have been able to provide some infrastructural facilities in the state if it had not been able to access loans needed to put such facilities in place.
Issues that you raised, infrastructure, we know, is the only way really to maximize the potential economy of our country. And that's why, as a state, we decided to take the bull by the horn. If you notice around the world, there's no sub-sovereign anywhere in the world that funds rail on our balance sheet. It's always the federal government collaboration, but we are the only state in the world that decided to do that. And I will tell you a story. And that's why I think that you have a huge responsibility to leapfrog capital investment in this country. And it's probably the only way, because part of the biggest challenge we have is public commentary in this country. You know, a lot of our people on television brings down our country, say all sorts of negative things that scares people away. So we need positive voices that will talk about the real things that we need to do. So, for example, when we wanted to start the Blue Line, we did studies and we identified 7 red lines in Lagos. Blue line, the red line, green line, purple line, and all over the place. Because you can imagine a city this size, about 20 million people, and you don't have a rail. It just doesn't work. Imagine London without a rail, New York City without a rail. It just cannot function. So we decided that we must do it. And every multilateral agency we spoke to said, well, we don't fund rail in West Africa. So we must then decide as a people to stay inward and decide what we need to do for ourselves. And we believe that the best thing for us is to start investment. It's a monster financially, but then if we can't help ourselves, it's going to help us. So, and that's why we started the Blue Line. And as you can see, it has started. We see people entering it. They're excited, you know, and but it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. The red line is bigger. The red line is bigger and it starts from Ogun State, in Agbado in Ogun State, all the way to Marina. So, because in Ogun State, you know, they have about 4 times the size of our land. Yes. So we are able to go there, use that as a depot, and then Ogun State can buy buses to take their people to various locations, and then move people, imagine through Mushin, Agege, Yaba, where massive number of people are. So I agree with you, we need to find a way to raise capital, because, you know, people always, as Africans, it seems we don't like debt. People will say, but if it's constructive debt, what is wrong with it? Because the truth of the matter is, money is fungible. What you can do today without money, tomorrow you might not be able to do it. I tell you, if you have not funded the red line at the time we started, there is no way we can afford it today. No way. And it's almost 19% ready. So we must encourage state actors to not be scared of debt, constructive debts, to make sure that we fund the infrastructure that will leapfrog our states. So as for the various, it's very interesting. I've been in meetings with the highway, because I recall that the former minister was actually the chairman of the committee of all the various West African countries. And we've sat in meetings, I think, twice in Abidjan, and of course in Nigeria here. So you notice that we need to help the various governments. So Lagos has started. So from Maza all the way to Kokomaiko is now done. Yes. So it was 2 lanes before, but it's now 10 lanes. So it's now 10 lanes, and that's the essence of the blue line. The blue line is in between it, all the way to Kokomaiko. So by the time you get to Kokomaiko, then of course you can take your bus. So if you do 10 lanes, so the challenge is to now from the cement to Aflao, all the way. So various governments needs to really focus on it. Really focus on it. And the only way to do it is to help them raise money. Because the truth is, a lot of countries have complained that the resources is just not there. So we need to educate ourselves on the best way to actually raise those funds so that we can actually invest. Because like you said, imagine taking a car from Lagos and going to Dakar, and you are there in about 24, 22, 23 hours. You know, it makes it easier for us to move around. So, but the monster is actually the finance, and that's why you are the expert. So to assist us, to actually let people understand that we need to find means of raising this capital internally. And so I would suggest that your conference, not just the Commissioner for Finance, but the Commissioner for Economic Planning, and then of course the Attorney General, because the biggest challenge is our laws. And if you don't find a way to actually streamline it so that at least people can participate, you know, we have to change our PP laws, I think, twice, because we keep learning, and then so that we can remove all the bottlenecks for would-be investors. And you know, it's as you know, in other.
Mike Osemeke reporting for Newsflash 247 TV.